And joining me now are two eyewitnesses to the tragic shooting, Russell Bleck and his fiancee, Breanna Skagen. I understand you two were in the VIP tent. In fact, I heard you this morning, what began, Russell, and you were talking about this riveting scene. You were in the VIP tent, and then take us through what happened from there.
So we were in the VIP tent, closest to where Mandalay Bay, where the shooter was, and all of a sudden, I'm not sure if you guys can see the video, but I was just shooting. I heard three-round bursts, pop, 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 and it sounded like a crack of an amplifier or something. It was too far away to sound like a firearm. And then all of a sudden, I got closer to the corner of the tent, which is closest to where he was, and all of a sudden, you just heard just relentless gunfire, like just magazine after magazine, just raining down on everybody. You could hear the bullets ricochet. I could hear it going through like the tent flaps. It sounded like it was terrifying.
And the heroism that we talk about, Russell, I mean, are you the same mind that this was just a total act of heroism all the way around you, that people are doing the right thing wherever you looked?
Well, I'm originally from Lexington, Kentucky, and, I actually went to this country concert to be around these types of people, I mean, ex-military, just a good old time. And
right.
Every single thing that I saw was heroism. I mean, in every shape or form, big and small. I mean, I got to give nothing but the utmost respect and love, my love and admiration to the first responders. I mean, I saw police officers charging and I said this earlier, but in a world where everyone's kneeling, these guys stood up. They charged head on into automatic gunfire. They knew what they were doing, and they knew that they didn't have the weapons to go up against that. But I want people to understand that what these men and women did, even the slightest distraction kept countless lives from happening. I mean, this guy, hundreds of rounds. Mm-hmm. There was no escaping. And then there were 10-foot fences. We couldn't get over them. We were trapped. It was just a kill zone.
Yeah, and I think that quote's going to be heard again as, the whole world's kneeling. These guys were standing up. And, Breanna, I'm wondering about you. I mean, what was going through your mind when you finally realized this is legit, this is the real deal? What are you thinking?
I mean, at first I just thought it was fireworks and, no one was freaking out or anything. And then all of a sudden you just heard rapid gunfire, and I've never heard anything like that before. And I just froze. I fell to the ground, and his best friend grabbed me and just took me to cover. And we were just making our way out of the VIP tent when we could, like when he stopped firing, because there was a good where he just kept firing. It was like 20 rounds. And then once he stopped, we, ran over to like the concessions area and hid underneath the bar and just kept putting our head down. I just, so many emotions were going through my mind. I heard people screaming, and I could feel like the ricochets around me, or just the sand coming up, and it was just a nightmare.
Yeah, and the retelling of that, I mean, just brings back these horrifying images even to those who weren't there, Breanna. And Russell, I wonder if, you look at this and you think, man, I just could have made the wrong turn, because a lot of people I talked with today were saying, we just didn't know where to go. We heard the gunshots. We didn't know if it was just to get us to some other area and there was going to be explosions. We did not know where to go. Did you feel like that?
100%. I mean, honestly, I keep bringing up the fencing. The fencing is the scariest part. I mean, they made it a point to make sure no one can enter that facility, just with fake tickets or whatever, just sneaking in. But by doing that, it made us not be able to get out. And everywhere you turned, every porta potty was taken. I mean, we were pinned down for 15 minutes, or maybe about 10 minutes before we finally were able to make it into the Tropicana. And even when we got to the Tropicana, I mean, we had to run across the field and stuff to get there, and just saw bodies and everyone just laying everywhere. Wheelchairs getting knocked over, old ladies, and you couldn't stop to save anybody, because if you did, you'd get hit yourself. And we finally got to the Tropicana, and security was waving us in, and all of a sudden you could hear echoes through all the other buildings, and so we thought there was another shooter. So everyone started running back towards us, and there's no way. There's only one way in and out of the festival to begin with. It's just overall, it was just carnage and chaos everywhere. I can't explain it.
And I get it really. I mean, it just sounds horrifying, Russell. And I guess, Breanna, I should ask you the bookend question, because I asked you what it was like when you realized it was real. When you got to the Tropicana and you realized that you were safe, what then goes through your mind?
We still didn't feel safe there. It wasn't until we made it to Hooters, to my car, where I had my firearm on me, and I just jumped in the car. We took off and got away. But when those feelings finally came about, it still hasn't hit us yet. I mean, we haven't slept. She had maybe a couple hours of sleep. I have maybe 20 minutes where I shut my eyes. But you shut your eyes, and the things you see. I mean, there's not a movie that I've ever seen that can show what happened there.
And Breanna, I've got to go, but I want your last reaction. What are you feeling right now?
I mean, I'm just still in shock, just that, you know, we even made it out of there because so many people didn't. And it was just to see that kind of thing and to just be in it, you can't even describe it. And it's just, it still replays in my head, and hearing the videos with the rapid fire, it just replays over in my head. Right. And it's like unlike anything anybody can describe. It's just horrible.
It just kept going. Those cops saved us.
They did.
They did.
And you know, we sit and we ask these questions. We do not know how you feel. We never will, to be in your shoes, but we are glad that you're both alive. Our hearts go out to those who didn't make it. Our hearts also go out to you. We wish you both the best. Breanna Skagen, Russell Bleck, thank you both.